Why capitalism was the greatest thing to ever happen to humans, and why it will ultimately fail. Capitalism was the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. As you hear that, you are probably thinking, who is this guy and what has he been smoking? But that's where the second half of the title comes in. Capitalism will ultimately fail. There have been many systems throughout history. Feudalism, communism, fascism, totalitarianism, but capitalism has been by far the greatest. Just look at the overwhelming evidence. Under capitalism, we have invented cars, aeroplanes, televisions, computers, mobile phones, and even landed on the friggin' moon. Communism has never and will never accomplish these goals, despite what the unwashed twits studying sociology at their first semester at Warwick might proclaim. In 1979, upon the death of Mao Zedong, China was a financial shambles of a country. The CCP changed their entire model and based this new model on the US system. 45 years later, and look at the tremendous success applying the principles of a free market economy has had on the Chinese economy. Nobody is calling China poor anymore. Throughout the developing world, nations are applying the US model to grow their economies and build their futures. Capitalism is the reason we are no longer throwing feces out of the window onto the streets. It's what replaced feudalism and gave us the free market for businesses to emerge, creating jobs and financial stability for the workers. There were, of course, issues. Workers have never really been compensated fairly, have they? Profit has always come before people, and capitalism is no exception. However, people were oppressed even worse under feudalism. Communism had gulags, and fascism had concentration camps. Capitalism was never the reason for business owners exploiting their employees. They would have exploited them as slaves or serfs under a different system anyway. Capitalism also allowed for more social mobility, creating a middle class. We have always had rich and poor, but a society can be judged by how many people are doing well. So why is it that our capitalist society is seemingly crumbling around us? Why is capitalism doomed to fail? And can we fix it? We've all played the board game Monopoly. It is a fun game that is based on capitalism. You collect a $200 paycheck, and the aim of the game is to try and buy assets so that you can make money independently of passing go. This is basically retirement. The problem with Monopoly, of course, is that eventually one person ends up with all the money. They are declared the winner. The game is finished, and we all go and do something else. The problem is that in real life, the game does not stop. We keep going. We have gotten to the point where a small number of people have won. They control the houses, the companies, the industries, international trade, and even the government. The rest of us are just passing go and our $200 is worth less and less each month. If the system continues on its current trajectory, then we will eventually have one man owning literally everything. And then what? So what can we do? Aside from the obvious universal basic income, political revamp, wealth tax, wealth distribution, there are other things that we can do. One option is to financially educate ourselves. Let's face it, the education system is not going to do it for us. So we need to educate ourselves in accounting, investing, asset allocation, and so on. The internet has given us all a university education for free. We can learn how money works and give ourselves the tools to escape the rat race. Another smaller yet potentially effective option is to boycott giant corporations. Politicians are either corrupt, inept, or both. But the real voting is done with your money. All these companies care about is your money. And if you refuse to give it to them, they will be forced to change. Okay, so wait, you're probably thinking, how can my money make a difference? I know it's a drop in the ocean, but look at the tools we have at our disposal. Look at social media and the change that can make. Hashtag boycott Starbucks led to a $15 billion loss in market cap for the company. Together, we are strong. Okay, so I'm starting to sound a little bit preachy now. But let's be real, something needs to change. And as cliche as it sounds, we cannot give up hope of a better tomorrow. I do not want to live in some dystopian doomer world, and neither do you. So start by educating yourself financially. Do you know the difference between an asset and a liability? If not, start there. Find out. Stop giving your hard-earned money, and even harder taxed money, to Starbucks and go to the small business across the street. And most importantly, wake up and be perspicacious enough to see the system for what it truly is. Thank you for joining me in today's video. This video is definitely different to what I would normally do, but honestly, I actually really liked covering this topic, and I will be doing more videos like this soon. Please leave a like, subscribe, a comment, and I'll catch you next time. See you later. This video is for educational purposes only.